Hey guys, so this is a story we've done on Neckbeardia. However, with that channel being condemned by YouTube, we're slowly but surely moving all of our voiceover videos to this channel, leaving only text-to-speech videos public on our old channel. We're sorry about all this hassle, but we're sure you guys know how difficult it can be to keep up with YouTube's terms of service. But the links are down below for a video explaining the situation if you want to learn more, but let's get into the video. Hey guys, hope you guys enjoy UK Topgear because number one, it's based, plus this is on it. So, and also I got a tooth removed today, so sorry if I'm a bit lispy, but let's get straight into the video. How would Topgear fare in 40k in a special episode from Ultramar to Terra? Scene: the studio. Crowd stands amongst wrecked vehicles. Clarkson narrated. Tonight on Topgear, I fall in a hole. Clip of Jeremy Clarkson stumbling backwards into his shell hole. May makes a friend. Candid zoomed in shot of James May and an Eldar agreeing the olden days were better. And Hammond says hi to a space marine. A clip of Richard Hammond looking up at a huge Astartes and nervously saying, hi. And welcome to the road trip special. Scene: deserted car park in hills of Ultramar. Light rain. May arrives in a chimera. May narrates. I was the first to arrive, in a chimera armoured transport. This amazing machine is great all round, it's dependable, and it's the best friend of every lucky infantryman. And it only cost me £14,000, which leaves me with £6,000 to play with. The autocannon is a bit unusual and it's got a few issues with it, and apparently the tracks and bearings need some work. But other than that, I've been assured it's in mint condition. Oh, perfect timing. The gorilla's here. Clarkson arrives in a very suspicious-looking Land Raider. Behold!
This is too good. I fucking love this.
The Land Raider. It's got speed and power for days. Unlike that wimpy thing you're in. I could eat that for breakfast. May picks at the paint. Is that an orc marking under there? Indeed it is.
Oh my god, no. No, he didn't.
This thing got looted on Panaris 3 a few years back, and recently got found after some raids. We saved it from the scrap heap because apparently there's a few orcs that do know their stuff. Cut that out. Clarkson opens engine compartment. What in the blazes is that? That, James, is a V64 engine. You normally find these monsters on ships, but somehow they managed to get it into this thing. About half of the entire vehicle is taken up by an engine. And oh boy does it have power! These smart Xenos also fitted it with a pair of giant shooters and all kinds of goodies. Do they work? The shooters? No.
Every Top Gear episode ever made.
Has the engine got a laundry list of mechanical issues? Yes. Has this blatant tech heresy been approved by the Mechanicus? No, but we've got a few bits of archaeotech in the back to bribe any nosy tech priest with it. Cut that bit out. Anyways, yours. Could you have picked a more boring vehicle? Yes, I could, and I could also have picked a more ridiculous one. Look at yours. How much did that monstrosity cost? 23,000. You mean you spent 3,000 of your own money to buy that duff old thing that's probably either blown itself up or get us all shot? Yes. Oh, and the driver's seat is bare metal too.
Perfect.
Clarkson pokes at Chimera. Didn't you say it needed some track work? These things are more rust than metal. You try and go more than walking pace and they're going to fall off faster than a drunk Hammond on a rodeo grox. Does that cannon work? Unlike yours, it does. May appears several seconds later at the hatch. Behold, the power of the Bert? Cannon fires about a dozen shots. Is that it? Any more and it overheats horribly and the ammunition starts to cook off.
What?
Why?
Why is this every episode? Why does it always happen to James? It's like, oh yeah, no, I bought the smart, reliable one. And then, like, you know, when you actually put it to the test, it's like, yeah, this you bought a piece of shit.
And it only goes like 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, May, and you say mine is a death trap? Because it is. And how the blazes are you going to fuel that massive engine of yours? Clarkson narrates. Fortunately, his probing was interrupted by the arrival of a very strange vehicle. He didn't. Oh, he did. Hammond flies through the gate in a land speeder, fails to slow down fully and scrapes May's vehicle. You pillock! We haven't even got going yet and you're already crashing your bloody vehicle. Hammond pulls up, now in control. Bet you ain't seen one of these before. This, ladies, is the beauty of a land speeder. It'll leave you in the dust, and since I'm not allowed to use a helicopter, I settled for bending the vehicle rules a bit.
I'm going to assume that's a reference to Hammond near killing himself.
Himself in the rocket.
Yeah.
Are you? Now you're done crashing into me, can you explain your ridiculous choice? Clarkson whispers to May. Is that allowed? May whispers to Clarkson. Unfortunately, I think it is. What are you two talking about? Does this magnificent vehicle not faze you? Hammond. You're in a land speeder. Where the hell did you get this for 20 grand? Hammond jumps down. 19 actually. And I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I think the reason that rogue trader was selling it so cheap was the slight chaotic corruption.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It seems okay, even if the machine spirit screams at me most of the time. Actually, it's kind of annoying. It was also kind of hot property, since she didn't want the warband on her. We also had to remove the weaponry for safety reasons. Cut that bit out. Anyways, speaking of machine spirits, how's yours in that abomination? Mine? It's got rather an inclination to charge at the nearest enemy. I had to beat the conjugator into submission with a hammer before it would acknowledge me as the boss.
That sounds perfectly accurate, if I'm being honest with you.
I keep it on hand whenever it gets uppity. I'd quite like to have a look at yours. Do you think you could lower it down for us? Hammond looks up at Speeder floating in air. That might be an issue. Clarkson and May golf. Need a bigger ladder there, Hammond? Bugger off. Can I climb on top of yours quickly? Several minutes later. I'll be blown. I can't see an obvious mechanical problem with this thing. May utters to Clarkson. Just you wait for something to go wrong later. It has to. There's no way this thing is legit. Hammond to May. Am I the only one in an actual good vehicle here? Clarkson's in an abomination and you're in something you'd see just about everywhere you went. What do you mean an abomination? This is a magnificent machine with no issues whatsoever. And unlike you two morons, I've actually tried to do something practical. You mean boring and generic? I bet it's ex-Praetorian. There's no way you get anything without a team maker. Let's have a look inside. Hammond looks inside the Chimera. Bloody hell, that's a lot of rust. I've seen that automator too. It's not pretty. You may as well have driven that all the way from Terra. May narrates. Unfortunately, my retort was rather rudely interrupted by an arrival of a strange man. Oh, hello. Who's this? Ultramar Auxilia walks up with a challenge card and hands it to Clarkson. Clarkson, reading. Now you three are done arguing, it's time to set off. You will board the vessel Lithonia for your road trip to Holy Terra. What? Wait, there's more. On the way you will stop at several important locations to complete a series of challenges. Oh no. Well, this'll be a fantastic trip, I'm sure. Let's go. Trio leaves for the spaceport. Scene. Clarkson's tank en route to spaceport, heavy rain. Normally when orcs get their hands on things, they completely butcher them. Not this though. What they've done here is, quite successfully, give it a massive engine that makes it better. This monster has over 4,000 horsepower lurking down there, and you can feel it through the vehicle. Really, it's a miracle it hasn't turned its crankshaft into a cheese twist. Gears scrape and crunch.
Honestly, though, it does sound really cool. I would, like, if there was one wish I could have, like, can I just ride with, like, with an orc someday? Can I just hop in the side and hopefully my face doesn't melt off going at supersonic speeds and we explode on impact? Has
a bit of trouble in the old gearbox though. Also, a lot of stuff in here is designed for orcs, and I feel a bit small for once. The guns also don't work unless you're shouting WAG, and believe they should.
That's perfect.
Oh, and they even added a window you have to wind down yourself for air. But for all its flaws, it's still a magnificent and truly unique beast. Unlike the cookie cutter APC James has, or that ridiculous mosquito of Hammond's. I bet he's having a miserable time in all this rain too. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Hammond struggles to be heard over the noise and engine whine. It's a beautiful bird, this! While those two are stuck on the ground, I can zip around above them and literally run rings. Or I would, if I weren't in a city with the best traffic rosers in the galaxy. In fact, I don't have to worry about anything in the ground at all, so long as it's not taller than about 20 feet or shooting at us. Bit drafty though. Hammond avoids a traffic gantry and swerves. It's a bit hard to control too. I see why these things are often given to Marines and why the Eldar use them so well. I snuck in some training before we left, but I'm not sure even the Stig could handle this at top speed, which, incidentally, is higher than the monstrosity down there. Hammond talks briefly about the jet bike specs. Scene, May's tank. While the others have gone loud and fancy, I've gone practical. You see, May talks at length about the Chimera's history and is eventually cut off. Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below, it helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video, let's get on with the story. Scene. Lithonia VIP Lounge. Clarkson and May are talking, Hammond is absent. Clarkson is reading the Imperial Times and May has a glass of Asamac. Right, I've been snipping a bit and I think I know where we're going first. It's a little world called Badlanding that was nabbed by orcs before even you were born, and it's in the process of being retaken recently. They're sending us into a war zone now? Everywhere's a war zone these days. Now, I don't know what they want us to do there, but there's going to be a lot of green yobs around. Hammond's going to have a right miserable time there, isn't he? He's a rickety, glorified jetpack. That's right, and I have an idea about how to make him even more miserable. His arrogance is getting on my nerves. Oh? Do tell. Clarkson whispers to May conspiratorially. Scene. Vehicle bay of the Lithonia. Shipboard night hours. Lights are dim. Clarkson and May are visible as creeping silhouettes. Clarkson whispering. And here it is. You bring the widget? May whispering. Here you go. Sounds of quietly clanking metal. Stiffing and screws are heard. And that should do it. Looks all in place to me. Alright, let's set the frequency to 20.4. Let's give it a test. See how good we can mess with him. Jet bike is quietly started up. Effects are not seen. Yes! Perfect. Now let's get out of here. Clarkson and May sneak away, sniggering. Scene. Surface of Badlanding. Close to front lines. Sunny afternoon. Sounds of battle can be heard some miles away. Ground is churned mud. Lovely place, isn't it? I knew I should have packed a picnic basket. Clarkson through binoculars. I know. Glad we're not up there. Who's this bloke? Imperial Guardsman hands Hammond a challenge card. Hammond reading. You've arrived on the war world of Badlanding. This place is overrun with orcs, even behind the front lines. Your task is to find and kill as many as you can within your designated areas in 4 hours, using only your vehicles and their weapons. You will be provided with gunners for this role. Sounds simple enough. To Hammond. Oh, does someone not have a weapon? Shut up, I know it got disarmed. You're gonna have to go get a gun. And do it the old-fashioned way. Shut up! Well, you know what they say, Hammond. See you later. Clarkson and May drive off. Hammond goes in search of a weapon. Scene. May's IFE. May is driving up a hill. Several orcs are visible in the distance. Ah, our first customers. Let's see if we can get a bit closer before they notice us. Orcs turn around and brandish shootas. Well, that didn't take long. Gunner, open fire. Show these scallywags who's the boss. Autocannon open fires, quickly killing 2 before catching fire. Stop! Bugger! Forgot the blasted culling was busted. May blasts the burning patch with an extinguisher as orcs open fire and charge. Alright, it stopped glowing. I think we can try again now. Short bursts. Remaining orcs are killed by short burst gunfire. Excellent. Sometimes you can't beat a good autocannon. IFE strikes a rock, causing a shower of soot and rust to rain on May. Ugh! Scene. Clarkson's monstrosity. Clarkson is shooting at and driving over orcs. Ah! Wow! Yeez! Power! Wow! This feels good. This is what this thing was born to do. It's a bit ironic, really, that it was the orcs who made these very modifications, and it's a bit of a Frankentank. I shall call it Tankenstein. All the shouting is going to do my throat in soon, though. Tyke enters a small, steep-sided hollow. In this situation, James would be stuck. We, however, have plenty of what we need to get out of here.
Power!
A loud squealing noise emanates from below the tank and stops.
This no way he doesn't have gobbles in there.
Oh, bleep, bleep, please, not right now. Clarkson to May. James, are you nearby? May to Clarkson. I'm miles away, sorry. I wonder how Hammond is getting on. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Hammond has strapped 2 heavy stubbers to his land speeder. Look who's back! I blagged some guns of the guard and fixed them on. They might have better guns. But now here's where I think I have an advantage over them. Since I can spot and reach orcs way faster than they can, I'm not out of the game yet. Scene. May's IFE. May to Clarkson. He sounds happy. Shall we annoy him a bit? Clarkson to May. Commence Operation Roller Coaster. James presses a button on a remote. Repulsion motors flicker and the speeder briefly drops. Clarkson to May. Hear that? Sounds like a screaming Hammond. Both laugh hysterically. Cut to later. Scene. Starting ground. So, how did we all do? I got a total of 23. Slow and steady wins the race. Hammond? 4. Clarkson and May laugh. 4? Well, as it turns out, it's bloody hard to hit anything when you're in the air, moving at speed and trying to avoid a hail of bullets, weapons and grots all at the same time. Excuses, excuses. Well, how many did you score? 7. Only 7? That noise I heard. It was the drivetrain tearing itself to pieces. Look. Clarkson hefts a very thick, twisted steel rod. Blimey, you really did a number on that. Too much power, perhaps? Nonsense, the tech priest is still working on it and crying. Anyway, not being able to move somewhat hampers your ability to move and shoot. Hammond, mockingly. Excuses, excuses. Anyway, I want to borrow the tech priest when you're done. I don't want the grav drive crapping out of me again. Who's this? Another guardsman hands May a challenge card. May, reading. Now you're finished showing yourself up to the orcs. Rude. You will next be sent to the resort world of Pristia. You will receive further instructions once there. Well, that's a bit cryptic. Does anyone remember the Vox number for the shuttle? Scene. A beach on Pristina. Late morning. Sunny. The trio are relaxing next to their vehicle. Do we have to do a challenge? I like it here. It seems we do. Because it's here already. A gloved butler hands Hammond a challenge card. Hammond, reading. Welcome to Pristia, one of the finest resort worlds in Atharak's sector. Yeah, we can tell. Unfortunately, 3 nobles got misplaced, and there aren't any shuttles available. You'll be their chauffeurs to take them to the resort of Anoch, some 300 miles away off-road. The faster you get there, and less of the trip they spend whining, the more points you will get. It's only nobles, how bad can it be? Small jump cut. Nobles attempt to board vehicles. Clarkson. I'm sorry, but you'll have to climb in the top hatch. Back door's blocked by the engine. Don't mind the gubbins everywhere. It's just how it's supposed to look. No, that's not an orc mark. May. Welcome, madame. Please make yourself comfortable, strap yourself in and secure all loose items. It may get a tad bumpy. Please don't attempt to make a cup of tea with the boiling vessel while we're on the move. Hammond. Good morning. And you're going to be the one flying? We'll get there in no time. Oh, here's a helmet. Insect stings at these speeds, you know? May narrates. Looking at the map, we had a lot of ground to cover. 300 tough miles of grassland, forest, rivers and hills to cross before nightfall. Our vehicles were, probably, more than capable of doing it. It was just a matter of keeping our passengers happy. Scene. Clarkson's tank. Clarkson narrates. This is what the Tankenstein was born for. Bombing around off-road and not giving a beep about what's in its way. We were gliding over the dirt. Ha! Speed! Noble is sitting next to Clarkson, generally looking terrified. See? Even he's speechless. Forest looms into view. We'll have to go around. No way that track's wide enough for us. Do I smell burning? Jeremy stops to allow the overheating engine to cool. Tank follows the track around the edge of the forest to a river crossing. Are you done putting stuff in our way? That bridge doesn't look like it would take the weight of a squat, let alone an 80-ton modified tank. We'll have to ford it. Tank slowly drives into the water. It's deep, it's deep! The water's coming in! Clarkson narrates. Still, could be worse. Scene. May's IFV. It has started to rain heavily. A crash is followed by a bone-shaking impact as boots and tools fly around. Every impact causes dirt and rust to shower off the ceiling. Crash! Ow! Crash! Crash! Are you alright back there, milady? A range of ignoble screams and curses come back. I'll take that as a no then. Zoomed out shot showing the Chimera bouncing over rough terrain. Another crash, and yell is heard. May narrates. Still, could be worse. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Hammond and the Noble are soaked. Hammond is miserable and stopped above a forest trying to read a map. We're lost. Thunder rumbles overhead. I don't suppose it can get much worse. A sudden gust of wind snatches the map. Yes it can. Camera zooms out. No! Scene. Clarkson's tank. Look! Lights! I wonder where those two bloody idiots are. Clarkson clanks up the hotel driveway, sees James standing in front of his Chimera, making the loser sign. Many of his tread slats are missing. Oh no, look how smug he is. Clarkson dismounts his steaming hot tank and squelches over. Noble runs for it. So, how did your passenger enjoy the trip? Mine didn't run off like that. From how you're standing, I think you crippled them too much to run. Yes, she was a tad bruised. From the looks on your cheek, I think she gave you a bruise of your own. Anyway, it's getting dark. Where's Hammond? I don't know. Shall we go for a drink? Clarkson and May walk off to the bar. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Pouring with rain and dark. Noble is complaining about being tired and wet. I'm sure we're going the right way now. I recognise the silhouette of that landmark earlier. Any second now and we'll see the lights. Slowly fade to black. Scene. Hotel bar. Clarkson and May are drinking wine at a table late night. I tell you what, they have excellent alcohol in this planet. Indeed. Poshers have good taste. I don't think our guests today enjoyed it as much as we did. Who hated it the most? Mine or yours? Hammond's. He's still not even here yet. Speak of the devil. Hammond walks in, sopping wet and bedraggled. Look who the villain had dragged in. Have a good trip, did we? Hammond glares at him and sits down. No. Clarkson vox beeps. Oh look, it's a message from the producers. Clarkson reading. We had to pull a lot of strings to not get you all arrested for your antics. What ungrateful people. Your next destination is a hive world of Slough, where you shall undertake a challenge of speed. Hammond groans and buries his head. Of all the places, they choose to send us to Slough. Why couldn't the orcs have bombed it when they had a chance? Well, gentlemen, we better get some sleep. The ship leaves early tomorrow. Hammond watches them leave and smirk. Scene. Hotel car park. Dawn. Mostly clear. Clarkson and May go to climb into their vehicle. Hammond. Hold up, you two. What? Last night I went down to the night market and got you two some presents. Oh no. Hammond produces a glass 125 scale Land Raider model. For you, Jeremy. Hammond staggers around the corner with a person-sized marble statue of a woman. And for you, James. Clarkson attempts to wrap the model in a thick layer of cushions. Scene. Streets of Anoch. Sunny. Trio are driving together to spaceport. Shot of Clarkson driving wordlessly with a clump of cushion the size of a beach ball behind him. Shot of May driving with a flask of tea. Then exterior shot with a statue lashed the roof upright. What a twat. Betty thinks he's funny too. Scene. Hive World Slough. Hive Bark's exterior. Ground level. Smoggy and overcast. Trio are standing wearing breathing masks. Cheery place, isn't it? Can we hurry up and get this done already? I want to go back to Pristia. Hive Ganger hands Clarkson a challenge card. Clarkson, reading. Welcome to Slough. Don't breathe the air and don't wander off. This challenge will be a time trial race. A race? Yes! But against who? Wait a minute. Would you... Clarkson, reading. The course will take you up the outside of the hive to avoid the seedier bits, followed by a section to the centre of the hive itself. You will be racing against a rhino driven by an expert, with points awarded based on how close you are to their time. As for who this driver is, some say he has an STC filled with vehicle plans in his basement, or that he was raised on Samhan. All we know is, he's not the Stig. He's the Stig's hiver cousin. Stig climbs out of a hatch in the hive and walks towards the rhino. Helmet has a mohawk and Stig wears a tattered jacket with a stub gun on his hip. Oh, Hammond, one more thing. Clarkson, reading. For this challenge, flying vehicles must stay less than 1 metre above the ground. Damn it! Stig takes off in rhino, bombing around and climbing the hive exterior via the route. Crikey, look at him go. That's a drift. In a tracked vehicle on a ledge hundreds of metres up. How does he do that? You wouldn't catch me doing that. We don't need you to tell us that, Captain Slough. Stig enters the hive, shooting through the marked crumbling maintenance passages, dark mag tram tunnels and large vehicle ways. I hope there's no trains in there. Hammond, you worry too much. I'm sure there isn't. Stig crosses the finish line into a large empty storage chamber. An Arbite is waving the checkered flag. Let's see the time to beat. 16 minutes and 13 seconds. Well, gentlemen, I'll go first. Clarkson drives up the first ramp. And off and up we go! Power! Tank clatters up the precarious steep ramp after steep ramp at speed. All the agoraphobic grannies back home will be watching this and gasping every time I get near the edge. I had a new reinforced drive shaft installed after last time, so it should hold the immense power of this beast this time. Clarkson reaches exterior airlock and waits for it to open. Come on, I don't have time for this! A couple of hiver children have wandered onto the track and leap out of the way. Get out of the way, you idiots! Clarkson misjudges a corner and slides through a wall. Sorry, my bad, don't mind me. Clarkson crosses the finish line, whipping. Beat that, you two. Scene. Hive exterior. May is up next. We'll be taking this a bit slower this time, since I don't want to fly off the edge. Hammond watches through binoculars, talking to Clarkson via Vox. Hammond to Clarkson. He's forgotten to take that statue off. Scene. May's IFV. The only thing worse than falling to my death hundreds of metres down is letting Clarkson beat me in that scrap heap of his. Still. Ooh. What? May zooms through the channel. A low pipe decapitates his statue. Did you hear a clanging noise there? May passes Clarkson's crash site. The gouges in the floor and very tank-shaped hole in the wall looks like the trail marks of the gorilla. Scene. The finish line. Clarkson watches May pull in. What's so funny? Turn around. Your statue appears to have lost its head. Bollocks. Clarkson voxes Hammond. Clarkson to Hammond. Hammond, you're completely going to believe this, but May's statue is now missing its head. Hammond coughs over Vox. Scene. Hive exterior. Right, my turn. Let's get this over with. If I do fall off, at least I can stop my own fall. Hammond starts slow and soon gets faster, swishing around the ramps and ledges. This is actually pretty fun. It feels snappy, responsive, agile. This isn't its real home, but it might as well be. Pity they would never waste things like this on trivially important tasks like patrolling hives. Hammond enters the halls. Focus. Keep it straight and low. Don't take the corners too fast. Don't go too fast. In the mag tram tunnels, a light appears around the corner. Huh? Oh! Beep! Hammond swerves out of the way of the trap, scrapes the wall and loses control into a series of corkscrews. Hammond eventually regains control. He told me it was safe. Clarkson! Scene. The finish line as Hammond arrives. That was quick. Hammond to Clarkson. I nearly got flattened by a train. Has anyone got the times? Right here. Remember the Stig did it in 16 minutes and 13 seconds. Jeremy Clarkson, you did it in 21 minutes and 11 seconds. Jeremy grunts. I did it in 20 minutes and 48 seconds. Clarkson scoffs. That clapped out old rust bucket missing half of its treads? You're joking. It would seem your abomination is, surprise, surprise, not that speedy. Now, Richard Hammond, you did it in 15 minutes and 19 seconds. What? I was faster than the Stig? It's not really comparable. You're in an anti-gravity powered flying machine. For goodness sake. You should have been faster by years if you want to brag about it. Hammond makes the loser sign at Clarkson. Whatever. Clarkson to May. He's going to be absolutely unbearable forever. Cut back to ship. Scene. Lithonia Shuttle Bay. Shipboard late afternoon. A couple of shuttles are parked at the side. A track has been marked out in the middle. Hammond is zipping around, practicing on a speeder. Clarkson and May watch. I must admit, I do sometimes feel a little jealous. What's this? Captain Slough admiring the fast thing? I must admit that it does look a bit fun. You know they used to be cheap enough for the guard to use. You're kidding me. A magos, a tall and slender person in a hood, and two ornately dressed voidsmen walk in behind. We even used to have jet bikes, for Christ's sake. Now jet bikes are extinct apart from the Eldar ones, and only a few lucky marines get to use speeders. The Dark Age called, James. They want you back. Ha! Bet they would. We just have to appreciate the few scraps of good things we have. The hooded figure speaks in a curiously lilting voice. The figure. You are correct. I shall grant you that. Every year your technology degrades a little more. Oh no, now there's two of them. Please take him with you. I can see where he's going. Give it a few more millennia and it'll be a race of Clarksons. Who are you anyway? Figure obviously avoids the question. I was asked to give you this. Why they could not have used one of the crew I do not know. Figure hands May a note and walks off with the others to a very fancy shuttle. What a strange man. Was it a man? There's some bigwig rogue trader on board. Wanted a word with the captain. That's probably his retinue, and you know the eccentric company they keep. Fair enough. May opens note. May reading. Since you all love Slough so much, your next destination is another wonderful, desolate place called Arnite. You will receive further details on planetfall. Bollocks. Oi! That's my line. Hammond flies just above their heads, swishing their hair. Bloody Nora Hammond! Reese must have got to his little head. No wonder he crashes so much. Scene. Town of Barchan, Arnite. Sunny, scorching hot. Trio stand in sandy town square. 5 minutes and I'm burning already. I'm amazed that vehicle of yours didn't come with a nice Protonian umbrella you could use as a parasol. Look sharp. Challenge is here. Man in desert robes hands Clarkson a challenge card. Clarkson, reading. Welcome to the hellish desert of sand and rock, known as Arnite, and Sanctum Solar. The last stop in your journey before Terra. Fortunately for you, we weren't allowed to send you to Talarum. The nearest spaceport is in the town of Kalish, 1,550 kilometers away, which you must reach in order to leave. You may use the remainder of your purchase budget to locally modify your vehicles for the journey. That's a problem for you, isn't it? You're already 3,000 negative on your budget. We shall see. Cut to vehicle modification montage. Clarkson is hammering something. May picks a spanner from his set in size order. Hammond stands on a stepladder to reach his vehicle. Clarkson is still hammering. Scene. Barchan Town Square. Hammond arrives, attracting stares. With my remaining 1,000, I have added the most needed features. First up is a proper canopy, since I'm sick of being soaked. I know this is the desert, but you never know. Second, I converted the passenger seat to a fold-out bed. I try to have the machine's spirit purified, but Jeremy's hammer shut it up more efficiently. Clarkson arrives. What has the orangutan done this time? Jeremy, you've managed to do the impossible and make it look worse. Says you. You added go faster stripes to yours, for Christ's sakes. I think they look cool.
Of course, Hammond would think they look cool.
Anyway, I had to keep it simple since I'm already over budget. I've welded on some big side tanks because I doubt there are any petrol stations out there. I've also installed a sleeping bag, a seat cushion, and, the most important thing, an air conditioner for this solar oven. How much did that cost you? £500. But let's not get bogged down with that. I don't need to say anything. May arrives. The statue is now mounted on the front with the Grok's skull head. It doesn't look like he's changed much. While you two have been busy with useless things, I, on the other hand, have been focusing on things I think you've forgotten. First off, I've installed a toilet seat on the back for your convenience. I even fixed the track treads. Is this like what you used when you were driving across Inwit? The very same. Anyway, the real wonder is inside, if you follow me. May's car in this literally sounds the same as the one whenever he was driving across Syria. And
was it the BMW? I think he was driving. They were trying to
get to Bethlehem, and they were driving across the desert, and he put the...
Oh, the African corpse.
Yeah, and
yeah.
He put the toilet seat in the back.
Oh, yeah, he did actually. Oh, no, wait, no, that was Clarkson in India.
Oh.
That was Clarkson in India. He put the toilet seat on the back.
Oh, was it?
Because I'm pretty sure Clarkson knows of memes about India.
Yeah.
And we'll have no more said about it. Let's keep going.
About this. May opens the rear hatch. A shower is attached to the door, and inside May has converted the crew compartment to a living space with a stove, a fridge, cupboards, a minibar, a bed, a table and some chairs. Oh my word. Well, you're set, aren't you? Still looks rustier than your knowledge of Kriegish in here. Indeed I am. Your access to all of this depends entirely on you being nice to me. I know you're immediately going to try and break it because you're jealous, and if you do, you'll find yourself crapping on a hole and eating cold beans out of a can. Am I clear? Anyway, now that's over. Shall we have a look at the map the producers gave us? Clarkson reading. They really did mark on the edges as, here be sandworms. So I think we should take this route here around Ward's Butte, because the dunes look smaller. No. The other side is quite substantially shorter. Fade to black and back. Trio are still arguing. Gentlemen, enough! Shall we just start going? Have a look and send Hammond off to scout when we need to? Fine. Oh, and Hammond, don't just fly off. I don't want to be stuck with his smug face in his chimney stack machine for days in a desert. And besides, if you crash, nobody's going to come for you. Hammond reluctantly. Fine. How many times am I going to say that this trip? If you two are ready, shall we start? Scene. Clarkson's tank driving through desert. Clarkson narrates. All was well in the Franken tank. The suspension was still shot and the engine noises was going to do my head in, but the speed was good and air conditioner was keeping the heat at bay. It was cheap and the dodgy bloke I bought it from probably stole it, but it turned out amazing. Clarkson voxes May. So, where are we going again? Some place called Sanctum Flats is our first waypoint. Then we're going to try and reach Ward's Butte before sundown. It's a massive butte. More of a mesa really. So you can't miss it. Who names a place sanctuary in a desert? There's obviously sod all there. Some bloke from that damnatum ludum place, if I recall, said it was heaven compared to what he legged it from back home. It must have been really desperate. You know, I've just had a thought about Hammond. His cockpit has no air conditioning, so he's essentially made a greenhouse. Speaking of Hammond, do we still have that widget on board? Maybe we should test it. May presses the button. Hammond's speeder dives. A faint scream can be heard. May, sniggering. It appears so. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Ventilation holes and canopy are open. A gust of wind blows sand into the cockpit. Hammond sits impassively. Scene. May's driving palace. The guard should make more of their IVFs like this. Sure, it's a bit less efficient, but it would work wonders for rank morale. It can even be used to ward off your enemies. It won't work on bandits, chaos or Xenos, but they're just our advisories. My enemies are those two. May, vox to Clarkson. How is your cruddy suspension doing in all this rock? Clarkson to May. If I hadn't bought this seat cushion, I'd have broken every bone in my body by now. May, vox to Clarkson. Well, heads up, the rocks get bigger ahead. Better get your plaster cast ready. Scene. Clarkson's tank shortly afterwards. Camera is shaking and subject to a deafening clattering. Clarkson, inaudible. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Sanctum Flats is up ahead, lads. May via vox. Excellent. We can stop and have a break and inspect the damage. Clarkson via vox. Trio pull up on Sanctum salt flats. Blimey, I'm gonna need stronger sunglasses here. Clarkson picks up lump of halite. When we get home, I'm gonna celebrate with a nice fish and chips. I'm gonna crush this up and put it on it. No need to shout, Jeremy. Say it again. I said no need to shout. Sorry, I've gone mostly deaf from that racket. Anyway, I was hoping we could use this wonderful flat land to have a drag race. Hammond, you're disqualified. Pah. Well, we can't have a proper episode without a drag race, can we? Excellent, but we need some motivation. How about the loser eats that chunk of salt? Wait a minute. What's that vehicle over there? The camera crew are all driving Ridge Runners, but that's definitely something else. I think that's a Tauros. It's a glorified buggy with no charm, no presence, no proper engine, no weapon. This one at least. And no doors. And I pity the poor sod driving it. Looks like you better not break down. Shall we? He's only doing this because he thinks he'll win. I'll show him. Scene. Start line. Here we go. Clarkson shall be eating his own salt soon. 3, 2, 1. Hammond fires heavy stubbers on 0. Go, go, go! Power! Crashing noises are heard from within May's cabin. A seat and much broken china fly out of the back. A tread salt flies off Clarkson, beginning to pull away. He's getting away! Come on, come on! Yes! Clarkson crosses the line a couple of seconds ahead of May. Oh, cock. Ha ha ha, the best tank reigns supreme. Hammond vox to May. James, you seem to have lost most of your plates and furniture and partially disintegrated. Wonderful. Cut. Just eat it. This is going to be horrible, isn't it? May crunches the salt lump. He creases into a look of disgust. Ah, that's vile. Hammond and Clarkson smirk. May finishes lump. You got any water? Cut. Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below, it helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video, let's get on with the story. Lads, there's a waddy at the end of the flat. Looks like it leads towards the butte. How about we drive in that? Since I'll get hearing damage from 5 more minutes on those stones. I was getting a little tired of that myself. Lead the way, Hammond. Wadi meanders through the desert. Walls begin to get higher. I say, it looks more like a canyon than a dry river now. Well, we can't leave now, unless you want to turn around and go the bumpy route. I'm fine here, thank you. Wadi gets deeper and narrower. I say we're not going to have room to turn our vehicles around soon. Well, we're here now. Not only have you two trapped yourselves in a canyon, you have driven straight into Ward's Butte the back way. You can keep going on your own, Jeremy. I'm going to find a way out. Whatever. You have no sense of adventure. Clarkson and May eventually climb out via a side canyon some way back. Late evening. Scene. Campsite. You sure about camping here? There's a lot of boulders around. Clarkson kicks the face of Ward's Butte. Look, see? Rock solid. It'll stay here forever. Since all my plates were lost during your stupid drag race earlier, dinner will have to be on box lids. Fortunately, there's still enough chairs. Scene. May's lounge. All 3 are drinking beer with rear end open. Dusk. You know, this is actually quite nice. Enjoy it while you can, gentlemen. We've got Dune fields tomorrow. You know, I'm amazed nothing has broken down yet. Don't say that. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. Night. My bed's full of sand! Fade to black. Scene. Campsite. Sunrise. Not hot yet. May walks out to see Hammond and Clarkson up. Hammond is miserably nursing some recaf. Morning, lads. Had a good night, did you? I did. Did you get out on the wrong side of the bed? If he did, he'd get quite a shock from gravity. Get lost, both of you. Cut. Scene. May's IFE. Today, we're going to be heading through Dune Field E4 of Erg DD. It doesn't even have a name. Just hundreds of miles of massive dunes, and bugger all to appreciate if you don't like sand. They have to occasionally send people off to track the dunes, since they keep moving. Sand gets eroded off the Stoss slope by cut. Grainfall and grain flow form distinct alternating colour layers within dune deposits, which you can see cut. Vehicle drives up and down small dunes. Clarkson and May whoop while Hammond skips across. Scene. Base of huge dune. That is a big dune. Don't worry, it looks bigger and steeper than it is from down here. Hammond via Vox. I don't know, it looks pretty big from up here too. I'm as high as you can go and I'm only about a fifth of the way up. You go first, Jeremy. Watch and learn. Scene. Clarkson's tank. Here we go. Come on, you brilliant machine. Give me power! Clarkson starts up the slope. Fortunately, the tracks here won't slip on grease, much less lose sand. Scene. Base of dune. He's smoking. No wonder his engine is overheating like this in this weather doing that. Hammond via Vox. How long do we give him to notice? I say about 20 seconds. Scene. Clarkson's tank. What's that burning smell? Oh, beep! Please not here! Please not here! Engine stops. No! Scene. Base of dune. He's stopped and he's barely even got halfway up. Good job, Jeremy. Several minutes pass. Scene. Clarkson's tank. Clarkson checks watch. Right, it should be cool enough now. Let's give it a try. Engine starts. Yes! Now let's finish this. Tank crests the dune and careens and slumps down the other side. Ah! Urine is coming out! Tank reaches the bottom. Clarkson exhales and relaxes. Come on, James, it's a lovely trip. Scene. May's IFE. Unlike Jeremy, I will be taking this slowly and carefully. Fortunately, I don't have anything loose in the back left to fall out or smash after that silly drag race of Jeremy's. James drives up the dune over the next couple of minutes without a vent to the crest. Ooh, that's a lot of sky. Careful now, careful. May slides to a stop next to Clarkson. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you drive over a dune properly. James, that was phenomenally boring. Well, unlike you, I've done this properly and I don't have a death wish. You square. We've got hundreds of miles to cover today. You can't take everything slow. Hammond via Vox. Looks like the rest of the dunes are much smaller. Should be easier. You don't even have to deal with them, you smug git. Montage of Clarkson and May driving up and down dune after dune, while Hammond skims overhead. Trio have departed the dune field. Sand is largely flat. There's something in the distance. Looks like a shipwreck of the space kind. A big one. Anyone want to have a look? You two can. I'm staying here in my air-conditioned palace. Suit yourself. It looks interesting. Can't tell exactly what it is. May and Hammond walk around the ship. Wonder what this used to be. Whatever it is, it's pretty beaten up and rusted. It looks old. Before you ask, no, I'm not going in there. Hammond and May round the corner. Two Astartes in cymatic Hammer's livery are standing next to their own speeder. They look to the duo. Hi. What are you doing here? We're just passing by. The ship seemed like an interesting sight. What are you doing all the way out here, if I may ask? 500 years ago, several of our battle brothers gave their lives to destroy this warband ship, the 1 million thrones. In orbit, one was never found. We are here to search for the remains. It's not safe for you here, you should go. Then we shall be on our way, sirs. Cut. Well, that was an interesting encounter. I'm a tad disappointed we didn't get to explore a bit more. But 500 years? They really don't give up, do they? I'm more relieved they didn't try and nick the land speeder back. Find anything interesting, gentlemen? Nope, nothing at all. Scene. Campsite in a grove of shrubbery trees. Late evening. May walks in brandishing some plant. Here, try some. What is this? Space celery? Very funny. It's nice, and it grows everywhere. You're not lying. It is nice. I bet it'll taste even better roasted on the fire. Jeremy, it's a succulent plant. Nonsense. Everything tastes better roasted. Several minutes later. My culinary masterpiece is done. Jeremy takes a bite and tosses it. Not tasty, was it? It was so tasty I didn't want to take another bite, so that I wouldn't have to go the rest of my life without nothing ever approaching it. We'll go with that. I'm going to bed. Enjoy your hovels. Excuse me, at least it's not pretentious. I'm sure it would be quite comfortable, so long as I shake the sand out this time. First thing I'm going to do when we arrive tomorrow is go to the pub. Jeremy, they don't have pints in our night. The ship's bar then. Good night. Scene. Clarkson's tank next morning. We don't have Richard with us today. He caught wind that there's some kind of Meteolymp severe dust storm warning out today, and refused to stick around to be caught in it like a chicken. He simply took off. How rude of him. Still, if we're quick, we might be able to make it to Kalish in time. Scene. May's IFV. Now, I have come a bit more prepared. He thinks I'm simply reading a map and can't use technology. But what I have here is a nav slate. It tells me exactly where I am, even in the worst of storms. A loud crack and clatter is heard. IFV tilts slightly and heels around to the left. Cock! What was that? Clarkson via Vox. James, your treads come off. Well, that isn't good. Cut to May and Clarkson standing outside. James, I told you this would happen. No, you didn't, because the opposite of what you said always happens. Anyway, it seems like the drive wheels are intact, so someone just has to fix the tread and put it back on. Anyone got the jack? While protocol would just normally dictate I leave you behind to stew in your own misery, in this case I don't want to be driving through a desert without someone I can kill and eat if we get lost. Remember, the Taros is just over there. A couple of hours pass. The broken link is replaced and is being threaded back on. A huge sandstorm is visible on the horizon. Oh my, it's huge! No wonder Hammond didn't want to fly in that. May, detect priest. Could we speed it up a bit, lads? I'd rather not be stuck here. Repairs are finished as sky begins to darken. Camera crew scrambles to their own vehicles. Don't go too far at all. If you do, you will get lost and die. How cheery. I can't believe I'm taking orders from you, of all people. Jeremy, I'm serious. Sky darkens to black as night. Visibility is under 100 meters. I can't see a thing in this. Are you sure you know where we're going? Surer than you are, that's for certain. Now, as you'd expect, I've done this properly and bought a nav slate. Oh, Clarkson to himself. I did replace the dust filter, didn't I? Several hours later, the sky has largely cleared. Look, there's a town. No, look closer, that's only a mirage. Clarkson is visibly disappointed. I'm just about done with this desert. I'm hot, I'm bored, I'm sandy, I stink, and there's not even a pub at our destination. Who told you that? They'll at least have a few bars. Hammond's probably sitting in one now, smirking. May and Clarkson approach town. There's his land speeder. I see no Hammond inside it. Clarkson voxes Hammond. Hammond, we're next to your speeder. Where are you? Hammond via Vox. Look to your left. Hammond is sitting on the other side of the street at a table under a parasol with a fan, glass of Asamek and a newspaper. Sorry, there isn't any left, and the ship wants us back soon to avoid any delays. Shall we get moving again? Both glare at Hammond. Hammond, you're unbelievable! I wouldn't be so smug, Richard. You left your windows open. Hammond looks to his cockpit. Anyone got a vacuum? Scene. Clarkson's tank en route to spaceport. I'm impressed by how this machine has held up. I must admit I was madly concerned about it ripping itself apart, or getting a shot for possessing Xenos tech heresy. And yes, it did strand me halfway up a sand dune, but it's been a solid machine. Scene. May's IFV. The Chimera has held up to everything we've thrown at it. That one incident with the track was only because it was rusted all the way through. Other than that, it deserved every letter of its reputation. Most importantly, it can even make me a tea on the move. Scene. Hammond's cockpit. I have nothing bad to say about the speeder. Definitely not. I still love it as much as I started. Maybe even more so. This whole trip has been great for me. With a few years, I might even be able to control it well. Or I might leave it to the Space Marines. I think I'll do that next time. Scene. Lithonia VIP Lounge. Terra Orbit. It doesn't get old, does it? Looking at it. It's a good thing we're with the IBC. Imagine waiting in a queue for a century with you two. A Voidsman enters. Hello? Voidsman hands May a note. May, reading. You have arrived at Holy Terra. Shortly, you will be sent to the surface near Hive Manchestius and receive your challenge there. Don't forget your breathing masks. Always the same. Can't they just tell us? Of course not. That would be bad for suspense. Scene. Small open space near hive Manchestius. Respiration muffles speech. Beneath the guilt, indeed. What could they possibly want us to do on Terra, of all places? Adept passes Clarkson a challenge card. Clarkson reading. Welcome to Terra. Now the custodies are deployed beyond the palace. The man who usually brings a squad over in Hive Lithonia, next door, their lunch has called in sick. You will each take 1 case of marmalade sandwiches and deliver it to the destination. Are you serious? That is utterly ridiculous. I know. The Emperor is guarded by Paddington Bear. Besides, how hard can it be?
You know, it was actually Clarkson's
mother who wrote
Paddington Bear, so yeah. There you go, guys. Wee bit of trivia for you.
Don't say that either, Clarkson narrates. James opted to try his luck in the busy and unfortunately named Exclusivia E666, braving the thick traffic to skirt the hives. Richard, feeling uncharacteristically brave, decided to try and skim over the roofs between the ground and the skyways. I, on the other hand, decided to take the most direct route, straight through Hive Manchestius. Scene: Clarkson's tank. Vehicle is hurtling through arteries and tunnels. If my impeccable calculations are correct, these tunnels should take me right through and straight out the other side. What's better? The only traffic in there is the odd servitor, loader, arbitrus, and lost hiver. Crate slides around in the back. The race on Slough has made me into a master hive driver. Vehicle scrapes sparks on walls. Scene: Maze IFV. The Chimera is too big for the Ordania network, so they sent me on the Exclusivia network instead. How awfully nice of them. Though all the Arbites up here are glaring at me. Then again, Arbites are all sourpusses anyway. Arbite's Rhino flashes its lights at me. Uh-oh, look like the Rozzers aren't happy. I'm hoping to avoid being shot at today, so let's see what these folks want. Hello, officer. Scene: Clarkson's tank. Clarkson narrates. I, meanwhile, was having my own problems in the middle of the hive. Where are these tunnels going? They're not going the way I want them to anymore at all. Tunnel kinks around again. I'm not quite sure where I am in here anymore. The only people around are servitors, and they aren't very talkative. Perhaps it's this way? Scene: Hammond's cockpit. Hammond is weaving through buildings. Right, I should be getting close now. There it is. There's the flag. Hammond descends at speed towards the destination marker. Oh, it's quite fast. That's quite a lot of speed. Where are the brakes? Stop! Stop! Speeder does not stop and crashes at moderate speed through the wall of a temple. Ouch! Beep! This has not gone well. Airbag deploys. Scene: Hive Lithonia. Courthouse dungeon. Can I at least have a cup of tea? Door slams. Scene: Clarkson's tank. Light! I see light! I'm finally getting out of here! Vehicle emerges within sight of starting yard. You've got to be kidding me! Clarkson via Vox. Hammond? May? You there? Hello? Fade to black. Fade into studio to applause. That trip didn't exactly end well, did it, lads? Last I heard, the custodies are still waiting for their lunch. I don't think you realise just how absurd that last task was. They don't even eat sandwiches. They also don't crash their vehicles, Hammond. Look who speaks, you got nicked. They let me out of lockup after a few hours when they figured out my vehicle that wasn't registered to the Imperial authorities was actually supposed to be there. They broke the Teamaker too, the bastards. Audience member shouts. What was that? Where are the vehicles? Ah, yes. We've pried the bent wreck of Hammond's speeder out of the hole in the wall. But on the way back here to Dunsfold Station, we encountered a company of blood ravens. Sadly, we were unable to bolt the vehicle down in time. They came all this way and went through so much, only to be stolen by bloody magpies. Yes, shame that. Anyway, moving on. The scores. First up here is the cost. You get 1 point for each £10 under budget you were. I was 3,000 over budget, so I get minus 300 points. James, you get 400 points. And Richard, you get 100 points. The first line and you're already in the negative. Next up, we got 20 points for each orc you killed with your vehicles, which means you get 80 points. I get 140 points, and May gets a whopping 460 points. See, I told you mine was the best choice. Next, the hive races. I came last, so I got 0 for that. James, for coming second, you got 200 points. And Richard, for coming first, you got 400 points. Nobody got awarded any points for their desert trip because we couldn't figure out how to. And none of us managed to deliver anything, so none of us got any points for that either. If my math is correct, that makes me the winner. Not so fast, Hammond. At my suggestion, the producers introduced a special category, damage penalty, where you get minus 1 point for every £10 of damage you caused. James didn't cause any damage, so he gets 0 for that. I apparently caused £4,000 worth of damage on Slough, which gives me minus 400 points. Now, Richard, do you have any idea how much damage your little prying on Terra cost? No? You caused a whopping £220,000 worth of damage to the temple, which gives you, oh dear, minus 22,000 points. That's complete bollocks. You just made that up so you wouldn't have to lose to me. Excuses, Hammond. That puts me on 1,060 points. Jeremy on minus 560 points. And Captain Crash here on minus 21,420. Therefore, I win. May does a victory jig and makes the loser sign.
Why did he always do that? He does like a boomer cheer flossing.
I know.
It's boomer cheer flossing.
What this means is that a boring, rusty, generic vehicle with an integrated tea maker and lounge in the back has beaten the best mech boys and anti-gravity technology has to offer. The trip even made Hammond hate his fancy speedy thing. Hammond starts to protest but is repeatedly shushed. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you all very much for watching.
Good night.
Zoomite, roll credits.
Now, I do wish they could have their star in the least replaced car. So what would their least replaced car be? I'm going to assume it's some form of Rhino variant. What would you guys say? And what type of guests would you have on?
Yeah.
That would be a very good one to see. Oh, yeah. I'd love this. Now, before we say anything, there is more to this thread, but it's not about the story, but it's just people talking about 40k Top Gear. If that's something you guys are interested in, let us know, and we might just do like, you know, the short wee tidbits that people have like put together. I just think it's a really funny thought experiment, and I really enjoy Top Gear.
I really enjoyed doing it.
I think this was a particularly fun story for me.
And I don't know about you, but anytime I'm reading out who it's from, I'm in my head.
I can fully picture it.
It's fully their voice. It's not coming out as their voice, but I'm saying it as their voice fully.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good. It's probably one of my favourite I've done in a while.
Yeah.
So again, if you guys want, we might be able to do like a wee bit more, but that's up to you. As always, if you enjoyed this,
check the links.
The
models.
Definitely subscribe. It does help us out a lot.
Hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Do 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 do.
All those moments we lost in time.